In this video, we're going to talk about transcripts. We're going to talk about loading transcripts, or excuse me, we'll do an overview of transcripts. Then we're going to talk about loading them, talk about using them and reporting. We're going to do it all as one video, so it'll be a little bit longer, but none of them really stands up as worth breaking out as their own video. The transcript functionality in Quincy is solid, but I wouldn't describe it as fully mature. There's a lot more we can do with it, a lot more we will be doing with it. So nonetheless, view this for what it is, which is, I think, a good step into transcripts, but by no means a done issue. Let's hop into the product and look at what we've got. So let's go ahead and open the transcript widget. And you can see basically you have two primary tabs, viewing and working with transcripts, and then reporting on them. Within the viewing and working with transcripts section, you really should look at this, if you will, as almost just another viewer. You can mark up any document. It, in fact, does not need to be a transcript. Obviously, the tool is geared towards transcripts with things like exhibits and notes and stuff like that. But if you so choose and you wanted to do this on any document, you could go ahead and do that. But let's explore the workflow, if you will, of transcripts, and hopefully make it all sort of connect. So on the left, we have our controls. We've got transcript groups. It's just an organization technique for transcripts. Within transcripts groups, you have actual transcripts, and then you have tools by which to mark up a transcript. Again, these in fact don't actually need to be transcripts, but let's pretend they are. So we're going to go ahead and click on our various groups and see if we can find one with actual transcript in it. Yep, there we've got one that has a transcript in it. We can go ahead and click on that transcript. And to be clear, like I said, these are any object. This happens to be object ID 16,001. I could go to the grid just as easily and find object 16,001 and click on it, and it would work just the same. But let's go ahead and close our groups. Now we have transcripts open, and we've selected our transcript, so we no longer really need to work with that. We can close that. And then we can come here and we can create notes. And the notes is really, I think, where the rubber meets the road. The note section is divided into an upper grid, if you will, that details the notes you already have in this document. And then below that, if you will, a note creator. The note creator is in turn broken into 3 subsegments. So let's go ahead and, you know what, let's not click on any of our notes. Let's go ahead and create a new note. And you can see you have the option to create, save, or delete. Save is what you do when you're updating an existing note. Create is what you do when you're creating a new note. So let's come ahead and we'll call this video demo. And we'll just, here, let's drop this down a little bit, and we'll give it a note and says, this is our note for the video demo transcript. And if we have issues, in this case, we can go ahead and code this note to these issues. We don't have any issues in this case, so that sort of makes that unexciting, but if you had them, they would drop down there. You could just code them. So let's go ahead and click create now. And it's pretty uneventful. It happens basically instantaneously. It says note save, which is effectively all you really needed to see. Then let's click and expand, and we can see we've got our video demo note there. And now if we toggle off of it and toggle back on, you can see it loaded just the way we wanted it to. So let's click back up again. And now let's explore what we can do with this new note. So we've got it here, and basically we want to mark up, if you will, our document. And that's as simple as going and selecting on a section. Let me select not a large section, shoot. Sorry, right there. And we can go ahead and give the snippet a name, if you will, and we'll call this demo snippet. Oh, well, you know what, whatever. I'm not going to bother with my spelling. We can type in page and line, but we actually don't have to. It will auto-populate those. If we type in them, it will use what we type. But if we have a properly formatted transcript, as we do here, and we're capturing line information, it will go ahead and see that and populate it. So we'll just go a snippet for a demo, and let's go ahead and click save. And that saves, and you can see it did in fact do what we wanted to, which is market page 1 and line 9, and that was this area right here. And you know, that's kind of all she wrote. There's not a heck of a lot to talk about other than that. We've got the comment, we've got the text here, and we have the line and page number. And if we wanted to, we could go ahead and delete it, or we'll just leave it for this case. So let's talk really quickly about exhibits. Exhibits can just be loaded and associated with documents. Just simple, there's nothing particularly complex with them. Then you can click on them and view those exhibits. This is the exhibit. Notice we don't have an exhibit on an exhibit. That's why our exhibits here have disappeared, but this was the exhibit for that transcript. Let's go back to the transcript. If we wanted to, we could load more. See if I can get this to go back. There we go. And that's kind of it in terms of using transcripts. It's pretty straightforward. I didn't create a group or load a transcript. Let me show you how simple it is. I won't even do it, but I'm just going to show it. If you click on this, you just pick your case target, you name it, just that simple, and then click save. We won't do that here. If you want to load a transcript, it's sort of equally simple. Well, I guess equally simple is unfair. It's a little bit more complex. But you just go ahead and click on upload the file, and then give it attributes you want it. They're similar to, if you're familiar with loading transcripts in Summation, it's the same mechanism here. You give it a component, a volume, it has preamble pages, first number page, all this kind of stuff that you guys are familiar with in terms of loading transcripts in Summation. You can go ahead and use that same methodology here, and it should work correctly. Ultimately, when you have your transcript up and you're all happy and you've done your work, you can go ahead and run a transcript report. The top panel, if you will, or the top section is how you create a report. The bottom left are the reports in your case, and the bottom right is just your typical viewer to view the reports. And again, it's going to look exactly like your generic bookmark reports. So let's go ahead and just create one for the sake of demo. Video demo. I think I've already done one, so I'll call it 2. The type PDF or doc, just like it is for bookmark reports. Let's go ahead and we'll do a table of contents. We'll do a page title, and we'll do video demo. And author is Tim, and organization is Access Data, and date is April 28. Again, a text field, so you can enter anything you want. It doesn't actually even need to be a valid date. Okay, what groups are we going to report on? Let's select them all, because I've forgotten into which group our actual transcripts are. I know there's there's only one transcript here, so let's go ahead and select that. It means only one of these groups is relevant, by the way, but let's not waste time figuring out which one it is. If we did any issue coding, we could go ahead and select it here. We don't have to, because again, there's only one transcript. And then we can select on the notes we want to report on associated with that transcript or whatever we've already selected. And let's go ahead and select them all. Then what's the organization technique we want? Again, we support multi-case, so we can organize by case. We can organize by transcript. I think that's probably the best option. Or we can organize by issue. And it really doesn't matter which of these that you choose, and you could even choose them all, and then it will just do an order that does them, combines them. I think it goes first by case, then by transcript, then by issue, or it might be some other way around, I've forgotten. But play around with it and see what you end up liking. And I think that's all we need to do. Yeah, let's go ahead and run that report. And it says generating transcript report, and it should say, yep, job ID is started. And again, on my server, the actual transcript pops up. If you're working on your server, your transcript might pop up as well. But let's pretend we're working on the client, in which case that wouldn't happen. We would need to refresh this, and then there is our report. It's going to look exactly like it was just looking on that popped up screen, but we'll view it here because that's, again, how it's intended to be. And you can see our title page. And again, it's just going to be a typical transcript report. Transcript Connor 3, and then organization. You can see here's the transcript, and there are the notes and the snippets in each note. And I don't know what to say other than it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. It just gives all the different information about the notes. And I think this is, in fact, this is the one we did. Yep, this is the note we created together. You can see video demo. You can see the component. You can see the page and the various, page number here. We didn't give, we can associate an actual note with a page number and line number. You don't have to. And so since we didn't, it gets 00. But our snippet, as you recall, does have a page and a line number. So you can see that reflected there along with the actual. So that's it. That's how the whole thing works. Hopefully that's pretty straightforward. If you need help actually loading transcripts, go ahead and post on the message board. I didn't spend a ton of time here because that's a reasonably well-known activity, and if you're a summation user, you should be very familiar. But if that's not the case and you guys want a video dedicated to that, let me know and I will make it. Or again, just post questions on the message board. Thank you very much, and I hope this was helpful.